How you doing all? It's Brett Sullivan. Good evening. I was going to be doing a guitar video for you tonight. I've been throwing around my Kiesel. This is the new Kiesel Type X for the last couple weeks, but I've got to talk about Journey. It has affected me deeply, and many of you too. Now, I'm going to read you quickly from Stereo Gum. Everything that you don't know about Journey is probably already here, or one of the many other articles and press releases. Journey fire bassist and drummer over alleged coup d'etat. And that's on Stereo Gum. You can go ahead and read the article if you don't know what's happened already. Basically, Ross, Valory, Steve Smith allegedly tried to ensure themselves income after retirement. And the details are that they tried to rule the band in their favor or take over the name of the band. So I have many mixed feelings about this. I'm going to try and express it and report it as a bystander rather than a fan or rather than a band leader. But we're going to look at both angles. So as a bystander, very disappointing. It's the original lineup. I know that when I choose to go to a concert, I usually end up going to concerts where it's the original band members. I try not to be one of those people where I go see a band lineup and I see one original member and everybody else is a cover band. But if you spin it a different way, and I'm saying this as a member of several tribute bands myself, this music is going to be played forever. It's like classical music. The music of Bach and Brahms and Mozart is being performed to this day, and those artists are long gone. And yet nobody goes and says, well, I'm going to go see a cover band tonight. They go to see a classical orchestra playing the timeless music of Brahms. So if you spin this beautiful music by Journey and any other classic rock band, Kansas, Van Halen, AC/DC, it's classic, timeless music, like classical music. And at some point, when those guys and girls are not here anymore, people will go see it performed, which brings me to my next point, tribute band. And I'm in several tribute bands and I perform this music. I work so hard at making the tribute band sound as accurate and close to the original band as possible. I sometimes forget what the true fans say of Journey must be feeling. Are they coming to see the tribute band because they can't afford a Journey ticket? Maybe. Are they coming to see the Journey tribute band because they're super fan and it doesn't matter whether it's the real Journey or it doesn't matter whether it's a tribute band? I don't know what's in the hearts of fans. It's been so long since I've been a fan of music. I've been a performer and an artist so much in my life that I forget these things. So I think talking about this is helping me express what I think and hopefully what you're feeling. So back to the article. The original drummer and bass player are out. And I did mention that recently when I've seen concerts, I choose concerts where it's original members. For instance, I think one of the last two concerts I saw were the last Rush tours. And I remember thinking, wow, this is like seeing a time portal. And literally it is a time portal, the way they present their shows, Time Machine, etc. And I remember thinking, this is the real deal. And the other bands that are on tour, such as Roger Waters, he's really the only person that matters. Everybody else is hired. So yes, there is an element of genuineness that I like in my rock bands, and you probably do too. However, the last point I'm going to bring up, and this is going to take a bit to talk about to express myself, and the reason why I had to post this about Journey rather than talking about my guitar or some licks today is, for those of you dealing with, you super fans dealing with the exit of original members, here's how you have to spin it as well. And some of you are perceptive enough to know this. Others have a hard time admitting it. And I'm saying this based on seeing friends and people I don't know talking about Journey. Oh, that's a bummer. That's terrible. That's horrible for them to do that. You don't know what's in the hearts of the band members. Just as people don't know what I, as a musician and band leader, go through. And if you're a musician or band leader and you're managing multiple people, boy, is it rough. To do what we like to do, which is our favorite passion, which is play music. I have never from day one ever thought about making money from it. Yet I'm making money. When I set my foot on stage and I know at the end of the show I'm getting paid and the band is making a salary, I still never think, wow, I'm getting paid. I think I'm playing guitar in front of people. How lucky am I? So as long as you can keep that passion and drive for what you really like to do, only you know what's in the hearts of people and know why they're doing it. So I can go by the article that I read here and I can decide, well, this person's bad and this person's good. I can tell you this. from a band leader, and that's not a guitar player mentality. That's a band leader mentality. Forget about guitar players. And we know that guitar players can be very narcissistic, and singers and all that. Everybody plays a role and everything, but it's usually the singer guitar player, right? So as a band leader, we don't know what the fan is thinking, but we do know that people are happy. So in managing multiple band members, I try to keep everybody happy so that they can continue to play music. The minute somebody starts thinking about money and not about playing music, that's where it goes awry. Is that bad? No, it's not. You should be paid well for working hard as we do. However, music is a special thing. I didn't take up music hoping I would be rich and famous. I took it up hoping I would enjoy what I'm doing along with the rest of the world. Now, yes, I like being on the big stages. And the bigger the stage and the bigger the festival, the better. But when I'm playing in a small club somewhere and somebody comes up to me and says, "What are you doing here? Where do you want to be?" I'm like, I want to be playing music, whether I'm here or at a big stage. So that is a true lover of the art. And so standing back and observing what's happening with Journey, I have to say, I don't know these guys personally. I don't know what happened when they were teenagers to in their 20s to when they grew up. All I know is the minute you lose that connection with being a child and enjoying what you're doing, this is going to happen. This is going to happen. And it's up to you, if you're the super fan, to roll with it. I'm not telling you to go out and see a tribute band, but there's going to be tribute bands out there forever now playing Journey. They're going to be playing AC/DC. Kids are growing up now loving the music of the Beatles and the music of Santana and Woodstock, and it's like brand new to them, whereas us adults, we lived it. So trying to deal with this article and decide what's right or what's wrong, I can only tell you, as a Journey fan growing up, I played keyboards, and that's how I started. But now as a working professional musician, I can only relate to what I go through as a band leader, and it's very hard. Back to what I was saying earlier about trying to make everybody happy. If somebody in the band is unhappy, I go out of my way to make sure that they enjoy what they're doing. But sometimes that does not work. And sometimes it comes down to one or two people running the band have to make decisions like this. We don't know. Maybe Steve Smith and Ross Valory, bass player, are amazing people, but within that group of people, they just didn't get along anymore. And what can you do? You wouldn't expect me, and I wouldn't expect you to keep going to a job every day where you absolutely hated it. At one point, you got to do something about it. And when it's a band, either the controlling members have to get rid of the other members, or you suffer the rest of your life. So I have worked in bands where I have suffered only so long until I can't take it anymore. And at that point, some type of decision has to be made. We want the fans that come see us and our little bands to be happy. We want them to know that everything's all right. And for those of the people that know us inside, they know that we're always trying to bring the best show. And that any decision made to get rid of band members or any decision made to remove ourselves from that situation was for the better. You can't expect, though, a whole generation of Journey fans and rock fans to understand or agree with this. So, reporting from you as a band member, band leader, and musician, that's what I wanted to talk about tonight. And if you're still having trouble dealing with this, I'm sure that over time, the music will always rule. The beautiful music that Journey made, and still making is still so moving. One last quick note. I started out playing keyboards, so I would say that Journey is one of the coolest rock bands to be in if you're a keyboard player, because there's so many famous riffs and so much beautiful writing by Jonathan Cain. Always keep in mind that the famous bands and famous entities within bands have always been two people. It's hard to get more than two people to agree in any business. So Jonathan Cain and Neil Schon, Van Halen, David Lee Roth, Jimmy Page, Robert Plant. It's always been the two, and then everybody else follows. All this article, it moved me enough to talk to you guys today about, how Journey has impacted the world, how it's impacting friends and family and people who are fans of music, and that I thought it'd be more apropos to make this video talk about it tonight than just wail on guitar. But I'll be back in a couple days with some updated footage. If you're following my footage about the new Kiesel models and other cool musical tidbits. Please be staying tuned and subscribing to the channel. I'm going to be going back and forth between some vlogging like what we did tonight, some tech talk, and some shredding. So, Brev Sullivan out. Have a good night.